So, we pick back up with the story of Baruch, Ravenous, Myrene, Nanto, and Hala. Hala can't join us today because they're taking out their mum for Mother's Day. And we're starting a little bit late due to various Mother's Day celebrations. Welcome to iCast Summon Friends. So the story so far, Hala has essentially got in touch with the adventurers after finding, well, one of her friends, a street urchin by the name of Michaela, had reported they'd seen Will go missing or be. No one likes Michaela. Will, a fearsome paladin who fights in the arena, who was never afraid to hold her tongue, had gone missing after failing to hold her tongue towards Lord Flashheart about his equipping of his entire squad with wands of fireballs. The squad went out to go investigate. And first off, you set up a scenario where Lord Flashheart would be out of his manor while he's fighting in the arena. But while you're waiting for that time to come, you went and checked out his farmsteads. The Shroot Farms, where you found a few key bits of evidence. Some of it, all of it obtained probably very illegally. But the main thing was that you found a logbook with some clear, quite large payments from initials FH, which you can presume is from Lord Flashheart, and you found in a secret torture basement underneath the barn an elderly gnome who had gone a bit dotty from being tortured for a while, but from what you can gather, they've been trying to break him.
Trying?
Yeah, well, successfully breaking him. Yeah, you could say certainly he seems to be not particularly with it anymore, but he never was particularly anyway in the first place. So you took that evidence to Duchess Morwen, and she's authorised you to have a writ, so you're investigating on behalf of the Crown. Doesn't give you permission to just break and enter, but it certainly gives you permission to look around and see what you can find out, and a bit more leeway than you would have had otherwise. You then took your prisoners, Mr. and Mrs. Shroot, over to the Lieutenant Commander, Lieutenant Captain, who I now have art for. It's in the bottom left corner, who you might recognise as Sam Vimes from Terry Pratchett. He's arranged for the guards in the area around Lord Flashheart's manor to be taken away while you're doing your investigation. So he can't quite get you straight inside because he's Lord Flashheart's a powerful man, but you can certainly try and help. Meanwhile, Hala and Ravenous have been meeting up with a fan from the arena, Dorif, who sort of looks like Randy Marsh, but is more based on what's his name? It's the guy from Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. But yes, and so you were able to hang out at his flat, which is just opposite Lord Flashheart's manor. Keep an eye, watch for when Lord Flashheart left, and you were hoping to try and sneak inside on his tail. But unfortunately, some very unfortunate rolls, even though Hala and Ravenous were invisible, it all started going a bit wrong. But Nanto was able to save the day somewhat.
I don't know if I call it saving the day, but the day definitely progressed.
Yeah, prolonged the day. So we're a bit of fast friends magic. Cast upon Johnny, who
his friends call him Johnny. Yeah,
his friends call him Johnny. And they started giving you a guided tour around the mansion, and almost immediately, because Nanto's had some bad experience with sofas in the past after doing the forge. He sat on one, it turned out to be a mimic, and it tried to eat him. So he's quite suspicious of them anyway, and he'd been using a bit of, I think it's telekinesis, just moving stuff around, sort of jiggling, just seeing what happened. He jiggled a certain sofa seat cushion, and what happened then is the entire sofa started opening up, and like a secret passageway was revealed, to which the guards started panicking. The two that were escorting them, the one that wasn't charmed, started calling for other guards to come in running. And this is broadly what they look like. They're sort of got breastplates. I've got about 1.5 syllables out of that. What were you saying, sorry?
It's not important.
Okay. So this is where we had left off last time, is Lyroon, Nanto, and Buruk had gone charging off towards that newly opened secret passage. Guards were pouring in from pretty much every direction into that room. Meanwhile, Hala and Ravenous were outside, invisible in a corridor, not directly aware of what's happening. All they've heard is guards shouting to each other. And a lot of thundering footsteps, not least of which is the Warforged's heavy footsteps going clonk, clonk, clonk against the stone tiles. I've updated this a little bit and just twisted this around that art room that you were in, just to make it a bit clearer what's going on. And this is what the room revealed beyond looked like. So what it looks like it's like a bedroom. There's a small side table and there's a wardrobe. This wardrobe's standing open. And inside you can see what looks to be quite a large quantity of what looks like leather apparel, and hanging from the doors and pegs like whips and such. So it looks like it's quite a odd room to have in, quite possibly. But yeah, you've all charged in there. The doorway into this room is only 5 foot wide, so you know this could be a good choke point to hold. Guards are starting to pour in from all directions. What do you do?
So that's how big the room is. Nothing bigger.
That's all you can see.
Oh my.
I don't know about you guys, but I am planning to make my stand here. You guys go on exploring. I'll hold them off.
So you said there's a wardrobe, right?
It's a wardrobe. It's full of
Everyone hides in the wardrobe.
But
The wardrobe
is there a witch and a lion nearby?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a wardrobe. It's full of leathers and whips and such.
Oh, okay, nice.
So
just to make sure, Buruk, you said you're willing to make your last stand here?
No, not the last. Just making a stand.
Just stand.
Just making a stand.
Yeah.
If I'm... Oh, go on.
So just to confirm, is there a part of this room that we don't see ahead? Or do we see the basically end wall of it?
Yeah, what you see is what you see. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is what you're seeing as you go in.
and how well lit is it?
There's a continuous flame chandelier hanging from overhead. So yes, it's pretty well lit inside.
Oh, well, how very convenient. Yeah, can I search for any additional secret passageways if it's a double secret tunnel?
You certainly may. So that would be your action, Nanto, Buruk. So Buruk, you're going to be making your stand.
So dodge action?
Yep, dodge action in this case.
Just readying yourself.
Do you want perception or investigation?
That'll be investigation if you're looking for some kind of secret tunnel.
I would like to inspire Lyroon.
Thank you. Are you a D6 or a D8?
D8 now.
Nice.
Nice.
Love D8s.
And so I'm going to say, alright, well, doesn't look like we have enough time. Go on, Lyroon. I know you can find things. Anything, really. After all, we might die if we don't.
Might?
Oh my god, what the fuck?
What have you done?
What did you do?
21 d8s.
91, yes. He rolled a 91.
He keeps that roll.
He rolled a 91. You have to honor that. It's from DBD.
I clicked the button, and instead of there being one dice on my screen, it's...
So, even though there was no secret entrance, your investigation conjured a couple of things.
I don't know about you, DM, but I mean, he just rolled a 98. I think that's pretty good.
Just broke Vlad as well.
I got one hell of a
I think we lost him.
Alright, well, we'll take the first one, which was a 5.
That's fair.
Yeah, so it's a 12 investigation in total. So, is there any particular part of the room you were talking about the wardrobe? Is that where you're focusing your attentions? Or?
Sure.
Yeah. So, while Nanto's sort of pontificating and encouraging you, and Buruk's just standing there, just like, I am ready for what's going to come. I'm not going to die today. Lyroon makes his way inside.
throwing dice on the ground.
Caltrops.
Yeah, exactly. Lyroon walks forward, neatly hops over the banister and makes his way down the stairs. And sees this wardrobe standing open. There's several leather outfits. Then they've got various like metal rings and chains attached to them. And there's whips hanging on the doors. And he starts pulling apart the leather uniform, sort of uniforms, and just feeling around, seeing if there's any sign of a secret switch or any kind of access to another hidden area. Doesn't look like it from what you can tell. This just looks like a room that Lord Flashheart would retire to if someone had found his paintings quite enticing.
Oh dear.
I
was right. It's a sex dungeon.
So, and it's worth saying actually, with 12 you'd see this, opposite you when you walked in, there's a huge painting of Lord Flashheart. In a very dramatic pose. He's got one knee one knee raised with his like foot pressed on top of an opponent with a sword like out before him, and you can just see the eyes track you as you walk in.
That is great. Definitely.
Poke them.
I was actually I mentioned it last episode that I was looking for a picture with eyes in them. Do I have enough action left to check that painting?
So, you can certainly look at it, and we can see.
Can I look behind it?
You lift it up. There's no secret holes in the wall or anything. And when you put it back down, actually, the painting begins to speak.
Oh my.
Well, who are you? What are you doing? You're not Lord Flashheart or any of his consorts, I say. And it starts whipping around the sword. How ruddy dare you?
Oh, God.
Wait, the sword is just in the painting, right?
Just in the painting, indeed.
Okay,
but
I'm like, did this painting just whip out a sword and start stabbing Lyroon?
So anyway, I start stabbing. So while this is happening, the guards outside obviously aren't stationary. They've got their own agenda. So not Jonathan. Jonathan's like still just sort of smiling and amiable and looking a bit confused. Like, oh, well, that's not normally part of the tour, but yes, that's Lord Flashheart's hideaway. You really shouldn't have gone in there, but there you go. Meanwhile, just to his side, the other guardsman's like, I don't know what's gone wrong with Jonathan, but just look at him. Guys.
His friends call him Johnny.
Guys, get in here. These adventurers are doing something funny. I don't know why they've run in there, but we got them cornered. Anyway, they start marching forward into the room. For the most part, they just look like fairly generic towns guards. Obviously, they're dressed in Lord Flashheart's colours rather than actual towns guards, like police. But one of them does stand a bit apart. It's one of the ones in the top right corner. They're wearing what looks more like plate metal armour. It's dark in colour, and they seem to have a certain authoritative look to them. For now, they're just sort of eyeing the room, taking in the scene. Meanwhile...
Oh my god! The cat's going crazy. I don't know what he's doing. Okay,
guys,
carry on.
I will say, if we want to do a Hail Mary here, we have them pretty chokeholded, right? Now they're kind of choked out here.
Yeah, they're kind of spread out at the moment.
I have enthralling performance. If we can hold for 1 minute, I know, 10 rounds, it's a Hail Mary, I can try and charm literally all of them.
So, for me personally, it sounds like the better option is, you did just mention that one of the guards has a metal plate armor set. I've been looking for one of those.
I've been looking for one of those.
And those are expensive, like 2k gold.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, that would mean that I will be walking around in Lord Flashheart's clothing afterwards.
Well, until you look, like GTA style.
We can't murder these people.
Just ask him politely to take his clothes off.
No, I mean
that is what the sex dungeon is for.
No.
I think Wolf is just standing there growling, his weapon drawn. I did return the shield, unfortunately, which I'm slightly regretting. And just letting those guys know that this is royal. It's approved by the royalty, by the nobility. They have no right to kick us out of here.
Am I being detained?
No,
Look.
are they being detained?
Also, Lyroon calls out, I can't find anything. Oh God. Oh gods, no.
Oh God.
Why is the painting talking?
I don't know, and no, we're not Lord Flashheart.
Oh, can I talk to? Ooh, I want to talk to the painting. And I believe you were saying you were switching over, Sam.
So I'm just counting out their movements. There we go.
Ah.
So yeah, they're all charging into the room, calling out to each other, showing instructions. So it's this one. Let me just highlight them a bit differently to make it more obvious. The Blackguard. So yeah, they're wearing darkened plate metal armor, and certainly seem to have an authoritative air to them as they strut into the room. Meanwhile, a little distance away, as I say, we're Ravenous and Hala, both still invisible in the corridor. One of the guards has just entered behind you, the way you'd come in from, and is marching in your direction. But there should be enough space for you to press yourself to the side and let him pass. But
I'm pretty sure that's what we said we were doing right at the end.
yeah. And you've just seen a bunch of guards go charging into this room. They're all calling out to one another, and yeah, you've heard a lot of thundering of feet. What do you do?
How many guards did we see go through?
So you saw two charge past. They came in from, I don't know if you can see my mouse pointer. Yeah, you can. They came in from over here. Burst through those doors and immediately hooked left and went into this main chamber.
Cool. So I guess press up against the wall and hope that guard doesn't get us first.
Cool. So you're just gonna stay out of his way. So yeah, so you can. That's easy enough. You can hold your action, and they just charge straight past you. So that's no problem. Let me just get up that window. Got a few too many open. Is it this
Bad
one?
DMing.
Huh?
Bad DMing.
30 Yemi?
Yeah, so, you're not hearing me at all, are you?
No, it's really coming through quite badly.
Yep, I've got to agree. It's difficult to hear sometimes.
Okay, let's see if that helps at all. If I move this away here.
That seems better. It hasn't cut you out. It's yet to cut you out since you've moved it. So, yeah, that guard comes clanking past.
I told you so that Sam wanted to say from the beginning.
I didn't say that.
No, you just want to.
So yeah, the guard just comes trooping past, like sprinting. He's clanking in his armor. He's got that same breastplate that the others got, a spear in hand, and he just comes charging past. Doesn't seem to notice the pair of you pressed up against the wall just nearby because you're both invisible and you're not moving. What do you do?
So he's gone past. So I'll probably be like, sounds like that might be the distraction we wanted. So I don't have my map. I had a map of the whole.
Yeah, but you hadn't explored any of the ground floor.
Yeah, but I know where the stairs are.
Ah.
So, I mean, I guess yeah, we could do an exploration of the ground floor. So I guess let's tuck into the room closest to us for now.
Well, the one on your right. This one. This one.
Oh, I meant the bigger room, but I think that's a stairwell.
There's a door here. There's a door here.
Yeah.
And there's a door here.
Yeah.
Which one?
Okay, well, the one below.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, and Hala, hearing Ravenous suggested this is the distraction. Like, well, it certainly sounds distracting. I'm not going to be able to do that Texas accent, I'm afraid. So
it's not Texas, I don't think.
Whatever accent that Knighty Shade's able to employ is not one that I possess in my repertoire. So yeah, you open the door and you find a small study/library. So yeah, right. There you go. So yeah, there's various various shelves full of tomes, weighty, thick-looking tomes. There's a few cobwebs around, and in the corner there's a desk, and you can see there is a small lockbox atop the desk. There's a few pieces of parchment, and one of those. It looks quite familiar to those crystals that you had seen a few days ago, actually, on the top floor. Those blue glowing crystals, but it looks like a much smaller version of them. And it's just sort of slowly floating, bobbing in the air, and twisting around and twinkling.
How
would you
twinkling is this?
I was gonna say, would you say that it looks shiny?
I mean,
Like a
it's shining.
No, so there's a difference. There's shiny, or there's like shining with light.
It doesn't look like a sapphire or anything like that, but it certainly looks like it definitely looks like it could have value to someone.
Not shiny enough.
It looks like it could have value to someone. Could and someone. That is very specific, DM. Thank you.
The someone in this case isn't Travinus, looks like.
Indeed.
No, it's not a shiny gem, so could I do a perception check of the area?
It depends what you're doing. So if you want to find, what are you looking for? What are you trying to do?
I am looking for anything underhanded.
Okay.
They would want to hide.
Where would you be focusing your attention?
In desk drawers and things, I guess.
Cool.
Or
Okay.
Looking if there's any books that have, like if certain books are dusty and then there's one that isn't, or one that looks more used than others, that kind of thing.
Cool. Okay. Give me, I think, investigation. I know that's not your strong suit, but that is the nature of the task.
No, it is not.
But I'll allow Hala to give you a help action as you do that. So
Doesn't matter. I got a fucking nat 20, so
Wow.
19.
Wow. Okay. So immediately you're, you walk in.
Nat 20, so 19.
-1.
No one here is particularly smart.
Yeah, there is no smart member at the
Do
party.
I need to remind you that
Except
Nanto
Nanto.
has 14 int?
That is okay.
A lot more than mine.
Yeah.
It's not amazing though. I'm looking for 20 int people. All right.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's a worrying situation.
Reminder, an average person should have 10.
It's a worrying situation when Nanto's the brains of the party, though.
Yeah.
How does it feel
Nanto
knowing
is
that
the
Nanto's
brains of the
smarter than
operation.
you?
And here's our mastermind. What's he doing? He's talking to a squirrel right now.
Making confetti.
And and now he's making confetti for the squirrel.
Sorry. Oh god, no! You just exploded a squirrel.
He's the smart one.
His plans are beyond your understanding.
Do that confetti sound again, bots.
Well, like,
Yes! Wow! That's good at. You're good at that.
Or is that the squirrel's death sound? Anyway, so
Porque no los dos.
so Ravenous takes 2 steps into the room, and immediately her eyes are just prowling across that room, picking out every single object of interest without even opening any desk drawers. She can see there is 3 weighty leather tomes on those bookshelves that look a bit more dog-eared and certainly nowhere near. You can see there's a slight film of dust on many of them, but there's no such dust off on them. Just flicking over the covers, you haven't got time to like open them and start flicking through them because obviously this is like a 6-second round effectively. But just looking at the covers, it looks like they're all to do with, well, one is about kind of like a medieval version of seductive persuasion, like how to be good with women, basically. The second one,
A woman.
it's called The Prince of Persuasion. The second one is pretty grim. It's all about torture techniques, and again, looks to have seen some pretty regular use and kind of stacks up with what you've heard generally about what Lord Flashheart's been up to. That's how to not make friends and convince them. The third one is...
Is that his actual title?
Yeah.
I love it.
And not convince people.
I'm just thinking that I wouldn't want to open the dog-eared pages of that. If you had to just mark for yourself a future that, oh, this one's interesting.
I mean, Ravenous is she's got prestidigitation, right? So the third one is it's basically a book around like manipulation, mostly like trying to get people to do what you want them to do, how to incentivize certain behaviors, disincentivize certain other behaviors. So again, sort of stacking up with what you've been hearing about what he's been up to. So you see those three, wander over, see those three titles. You have just about time to open one desk drawer and quickly rummage through. And what you can see, it just looks like invoices. A few interesting points on there, though, is there's corresponding information about the 600 gold payments.
Grabbing.
Grabbing
Do they have? Are they addressed to Lord Flashheart? Like, is there like a sort of like from Shroot to Flashheart? Like letters.
It's not quite that blatant. He's not that silly, but there's certainly payments for 600 gold.
I think he is pretty silly though. But go on.
There's payments for 600 gold. They broadly seem to correspond around the right amount of times. Not quite, but broadly.
Okay. Well, I've got those.
Yeah, they're just that. So it's almost like just invoices that dating, like payments coming out from his accounts, but not who they're going to. And that is your turn.
It's the end of my turn.
Mm-hmm.
What does Halla do?
Help action.
Hallow's going to help you, but you nat 20, but they're already going to help you. So you can roll again, see if you get a double nat 20.
Roll for the double nat 20.
That's about it.
I don't want to waste any good rolls.
Well, Hallow's mostly just going, yeah, books aren't my specialty. As you can just see, you can hear the sigh. You can't see her, but you can hear the sigh of like, this is, why am I on this part of the mission?
Feel the aura.
Yeah. Why am I on this part of the mission? I'm not good at this. This is someone with -2 intelligence, they're even thicker than you are.
She can free to go off and fight if she wants to, if that's more her thing. I'm the sneaky, so.
She's just sitting there like, I could be punching people right now,
And don't read, I punch.
Read the room. So, there you go. We're going back to the other situation that's unfolding.
The next situation.
So, has rhythm stopped? Oh no, it's just super quiet. No, my bad. It's just my computer being a bit funny.
Oh my god, that's so many attacks.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I'm looking at how many attacks Hala has, and it's a lot of attacks.
Oh yeah, all the different options. So let me just update your positions actually, because you guys have moved around in the room as well.
I'm glad I took that as a challenge.
Yeah, and one of those isn't even an attack. Cloud of Daggers isn't an attack.
It's not an attack.
So, Lyrene had moved over towards the back of the room to go investigate that painting, and yeah, it found there's no secret eyes, but yeah, it seems to be moving and talking and asking what you're doing here, and you're not Lord Flashheart or any of his consorts. Nanto, you had inspired Lyrene, which got him up to above 10, so that's good. Gone to a 12. Brooke, you were taking dodge action, just holding the doorway. No one that was attacking you yet. They're more just moving forward in a menacing fashion. What do you guys do?
Lyrene, just one request. If you do anything that right now requires a deception check to that question from painting, I will kill you personally. Do not try to insinuate we are here on Flashheart's orders.
Oh, Flash! No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
No,
Disguise self.
Oh my god, yeah, now Lord Flashheart walks out. Oh, what's all this then?
So, you're trapped in this pretty small room. You've got a good chokehold. The guards are approaching. They are brandishing weapons, but none of them started attacking you yet. And they just seem to be talking to each other, saying there's something weird going on here. The fact that you've immediately charged into the secret chamber that no one's meant to be allowed into. Jonathan's acting quite strangely. Sorry, Johnny. And
fast friends, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still have that for like it lasts an hour if I as
Okay.
long as I'm concentrating.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Um,
your Hail Mary thing would ruin it, wouldn't it?
No, enthralling performance is not concentration.
Oh. So
Yeah.
it just happens a minute from when you cast it?
So it's not a spell, it is a bardic ability that I have. I perform for at least 1 minute, whether it's singing, reciting a poem, or dancing. At the end of the performance, I choose a number of humanoids within 60 feet who watched and listened to it up to your charisma mod, so 3. They make a whiz save. If they fail, they are charmed by me. They idolize me and speak glowingly of me. They hinder anyone who oppose me. They avoid violence. But here's the thing. If we don't hurt them, the charm doesn't break for an hour.
My god.
As long as like the only effects are it lasts for an hour or ends if the target takes damage, if you attack it, or if it witnesses you attacking or damaging its allies.
Nanto, get your best poem out.
Yeah.
I mean, so basically the idea is like, it's, you know, like as if Eddie Van Halen or someone started playing and everyone's just like, oh my god, and just entranced by this.
It's like if Nanto would, the direction I would have gone is, well, who wouldn't love a good puzzle? And they just become so enthralled by the master of puzzles who has found their way into their home.
I'm gonna personally force them all to listen to your puzzle.
Oh, Lyroon just dropped.
Oh,
Yeah. We're trying to get the things set back up. There's a gigantic hammer.
I just saw.
Like, it's because
Bad dragons to Dungeons and Dragons.
it's because Ravenous makes the art in really high res. So when I load it in, it's just like, oh, you want all the resolution?
Oh, that bitch just makes good photos and stuff. Like, what? How could she do this in high res? Oh, bitch.
There we go, fixed. But
use less pixels.
yeah, I think Vlad turned off his camera for a second. Oh, his internet dropped.
His
Okay,
internet dropped.
he's in the channel listening though. So, what do you do? So are you enthralling performing, Nanto?
Yeah, Burrock, you think you can take it?
I mean, I'll survive. Not sure about anyone else. I can't promise about the part where we'll be able to talk to them after and not hit them.
Because I'm just saying, if we can get 3 of them on our side,
It's a lot of guards. Yeah.
Things Burke's got an ulterior motive. He wants that plate armor.
he wants that. So I believe if we're ready to go for this, I would love to take a step back, so that Lyroon can punch heal if needed.
Yeah, that's the plan.
This is great. This is not at all how I expected this to go.
And I would like to begin my enthralling description. The performance that I will make is Nanto will begin reciting a good old poem that he once learned of Fey origin.
Okay.
All right, cool.
We're all
Assuming common though, rather than some Fey language.
Yes.
Yeah. The guards are just like,
My webcam is up, so you can
Whee!
turn the people
Excellent.
back on.
Good.
show them your pretty face.
There we go. Now I can see you.
And Nanto is going to start it off by saying, "Oh my, well, they don't really seem to like us being here. But I know just the story. You see, back in the day, there was..." And he's just going to orate and just talk about it. He's going to make friends, guys.
Dumb question. Are you going to be enthralling presencing the painting as well?
I believe it only works on humanoids.
Oh,
It's a humanoid image.
Yes.
Flashheart's hardly humanoid.
Yeah, a number of humanoids. I'm waiting for the revelation of, like, you finish your 10 rounds of orating, and it turns out all of the guards were constructs.
I mean,
Mostly
he
gonna
already
be dead.
he already built one construct. Anyways,
Anyways.
since Burrock Sorry, was that the end of your turn? Sorry.
Yeah, so that's pretty much. Actually, I still have a So I guess I could bonus action and then begin enthralling. Just to bolster us, I'm going to use my Mantle of Inspiration.
Okay, yeah. So
Excellent.
conferring that
That's right.
temporary hit points.
Exactly.
How much hit points is it?
8.
You have to roll, right? Oh, I thought you had to roll for
It's
it.
just 8.
Which is 8.
Okay.
And
So Nanto gets the familiar glamour about him as he begins to orate this poem from the Feywilds. His clothing takes on a much brighter green, and there's this kind of wispy energy that just kind of flows out from him, emboldening you and wrapping around you in a protective cover.
awesome.
I would like to say so. Real quick, the items that are in the dungeon, the dungeon,
The sexy dungeon.
yes, that one. There is a bed, there is a table, there is a painting, there is a wardrobe. Yes.
Yeah.
No other big items.
A few chairs under the staircase. Yeah, I think with 12 investigation you would have spotted this. Under the staircase there looks like there might be a couple of storage containers.
Cool. Can I look underneath the bed? Can I make a different investigation check, or is the 12 just it?
I mean, if you're looking significantly somewhere different, yeah, like under the bed or something, yeah, you can make a new investigation check. See what you see.
Awesome. I want to look for under the bed and or in the storage chests, but let's
Cool.
just go with bed first. Yay! I should not be doing this.
Oh god. Well, I'm not gonna charge you the investigation right now. That I can tell you that much.
4 investigation. So with that, you look under the beds. Someone should have been doing some cleaning under here. It's quite dusty.
That is a good sign.
Yeah, but nothing obvious.
Dust in this case is not the worst you could have found.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
That's very true.
that's what you found.
Dust-
And underneath the stairs, yeah, those storage containers. So it's just like heavy wooden trunks. You open them up, and it's more of the same kind of accoutrement that you would expect in such a room. So nothing that looks like secret triggers for other areas or anything like that, I'm afraid.
I would like to try talking. Oh, sorry. Would that be enough, or can I try talking to the painting as well?
You can talk as you work. That's easy enough.
Yes, we're not arts. Obviously, we are looking for a person. Have you seen? And then I describe Will.
Well, I don't see why I should tell you anything. You're interlopers in this private sanctum. And his eyebrows just rise up and down as he says it.
I even hate a picture of him.
But
Because if you help us, we'll leave.
well,
That is such a simple explanation.
Wow.
That would do it.
and he puffs out his chest, like places his hands upon his hips. I rather think those guards rapidly approaching will help you leave soon enough. But this will of yours, no, I have not seen any such lady in these parts.
Insight check.
You certainly may. You can insight check a painting.
When the artist made this, how were they feeling?
25.
Lucky.
Yeah. Oh, it's monks, isn't it? It's just what they do. Inexplicably really good at understanding people.
Really bad at looking for things under beds.
Yeah. So with 25, you would note that he chose his words quite carefully there.
That he had not seen a will in these parts.
Mm-hmm.
That's very telling.
Lyroon goes, Did you see where she was instead of here?
Okay, so I think that will wrap up your turn at that point. So
Sure.
we'll come back to that. Nanto, give me a performance check for your poem reading.
24.
Oh!
That's
A good start.
Oh my god.
That's 20.
Noise.
Okay, with a nat 20. So Johnny actually steps into the doorway before Burke. Turns around to the others. Look, these are just performers who have come. I mean, you have seen the talents of the great and wondrous. And he sort of frowns for a second and glances over.
Burke would quickly mutter, Nanto.
Yeah, right. How could I forget? Nanto! The great and wondrous Nanto! And the other guards, they're hearing this spectacular poetry, faux poetry reading from the Warforge, with whimsical decorations of, like, every now and then just confetti just launches from his hands. And the words themselves seem to be entrancing. And while they're not charmed yet, they're certainly a little bit more hesitant than they'd been before. The guard nearest by comes forward and just sort of glares at Johnny. He's like, "What you do?" Just takes him roughly by the shoulder and says, "Get out of the way, Dick. I don't care what kind of wondrous poetry reading sod this man is. He's in Lord Flashheart's secret hideout." Grabs him, throws him out of the way, but that does take up his entire turn. So get him over there. Meanwhile, the others continue charging forward 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So yeah, basically they're all sprinting forward as fast as they can get. None of them are able to start stabbing just yet, but they're all now starting to get into position. A little bit scary.
A little bit scary.
Okay, but yeah, that's pretty good turn. Brooke, you just dodge action.
Yeah, so I still had a dodge action, and I would just be, seeing a pause in Nanto's explanation, as another of the mini fireworks comes out or anything, I would just growl at that nearest guard. Stay out. We have royal warrant. We don't want to be doing this.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, that sort of good cop, bad cop. Good poet, bad investigator.
Good bad
Okay, so yeah, holding the pass. That's one round, 9 to go before you're able to start charming some guards. Meanwhile, over in the library. So Ravenous, you found 3 tomes.
I did. There's seduction, torture, and manipulation. And then some skeptical invoices.
Indeed. That's... Sorry, one too many windows open.
This music's kind of like, I'm vibing with it right now.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah? It's new. It's new. Cause...
It's like sort of like, I don't know, like really like religious undertone sounding, like oh Dominos, but then it's like, there's like a little beat in there, like it's pretty good.
It's a nice ominous Latin chanting combined with some actual nice vibe.
Yeah, dub
and
chant.
like some trap beats.
Dub chant. Yeah, hopefully, YouTube doesn't demonetize me. It's the first time I branched out from my 3 different songs that I use every single game. But we'll see. Demonetize all the 0 pennies I make from YouTube.
Monetization.
All the no money I make.
Yeah, exactly. So you're in the library. You found those 3 tomes. You found a couple of invoices where the timing and payment sizes seem to match broadly up. What do you do?
Is there a door into the room lower?
Not from where you are right now. Actually, I can see that the image isn't quite right, is it? Because it's not showing actually where the wall is to the south.
Yeah, it is. What are you talking about?
Sorry, one sec.
Oh.
Too many windows open. Okay. There we go. Like that.
Oh, okay.
That's what it should have looked like.
Oh, there's 2 rooms.
Yeah.
That does.
This changes everything.
So there's.
I'm gonna head north because I can see a door to another room, and I know the back out is the corridor, and I don't want to go out into the corridor and actually bump into anyone. So I'm gonna sort of quietly make my way through the next doorway.
Okay, so moving inside, the door's not locked. You're just able to freely walk inside. It seems like they're not expecting people to be wandering around aimlessly inside this mansion. And you see quite an interesting sight. There's a full plate suit of armor over in one corner. There's another desk, and there's a. We only heard the last syllable of that.
Oh, I shouted, "Hey Baroque, there's a suit of armor."
Yeah, it's a bit too late.
Quick question. You said there was 2 doors out of the library, one to the north, one to the south?
No.
No, one to the north, one to the east.
Yeah.
The east was back out to the hallway.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Never mind.
Cool.
I was thinking maybe Hala and Ravenous would split up to cover more ground since they don't have a lot of time for this distraction.
I agree.
I think they've got a whole minute. But yeah, that's. But yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, they can certainly split up. Ravenous, you can essentially Hala is like an NPC you can give orders to if you want, so you can tell her to go. You can split up.
Here, you.
I beg your pardon.
No,
I heard what you said. I just couldn't work out what you said.
It was get out of here, you.
All right.
That's what I sound like.
No,
You put on a voice. You put on a voice. So yeah, it is what you sounded like. So yeah, Ravenous goes north while Hala can split off south and make her own way around. So yeah, Ravenous, you enter this room. You can see there's a plate of armor. There's a desk nearby. There's a big horned animal skull sitting on top of the desk on a stand. There's a lit fireplace standing over to the west. On the desk, there is a weighty-looking tome. It's got, those like what 14-year-olds have on their diaries. There's like a lock on them. So this is like a locked, closed tome.
Right.
And there is a chest.
She's stealing.
It's a long, thin trunk of a chest that has a weighty-looking lock upon it. Behind it, another one is floating crystalline orbs, and 2. You can see this on the. You can probably just about see this on the map. There's 2 arcane sigils inscribed into the ground, glowing blue. You wouldn't. Sorry.
Is that like on the chest, under the chest? It's
next to it. No, next to the chest, just behind it. These 2 runes on the ground. They're different runes, but you wouldn't.
I wouldn't recognize them.
Yeah, I would say make me an Arcana check, but it's just wasting your dice because you wouldn't really recognize what they're about, not with your background. There's a couple of wardrobes standing in each corner. They are stood closed at the minute, but this is what you see as you walk in. What do you do?
First of all, I'm gonna see if there's any writing on the tome on the front to say what it might be.
It's blank cover.
Oh.
Flashheart's diary.
Could be.
Cool. Am I able to use sleight of hand or to try and pick the lock on it?
So if you want to try and pick the lock, that will be a Thieves' Tools check. So that's proficiency. So just make a dexterity check and we'll add your proficiency. So that says check, not save, by the way. I don't know if it's possible to do that through D&D Beyond, so you might have to do that through Discord. Oh no, you did it.
Yeah.
And you nat 20'd. This is like how many nat 20s out of how many dice rolls have been in this game? This is ridiculous.
3 so far.
Out of
Hopefully a couple more in the coming turns.
It's like out of 7 dice rolls. So take out your Thieves' Tools, and you spent a life burgling. You've been trying to convince the others to go burgling this mansion for a while, and you are determined to prove yourself. This is your time. This is your moment. And you take out the tools, and you barely slip them inside. You just tick, tick, and immediately you can feel each tumbler just move into place with barely a movement from you, and immediately you pop the lock open.
Nice.
I assume you read the contents. I assume you're immediately flipping open the book to read the contents. And this.
I have no respect for boundaries.
Yeah, and so what you find, it's most actually give me an investigation check.
Damn it.
And then when I see the result, I'm gonna go to Lou now while you roll.
I roll a 20.
Wait.
What?
Oh,
What?
I
How?
was just joking.
Look at the
I hadn't
past
even
couple
rolled
rounds.
it. I hadn't even rolled when I said it. I was like, I rolled a 20. Press the button, and I freaking rolled a 20.
You have only rolled 20s today.
Oh my god, you're right.
Wow.
You have
Yeah.
only rolled 20s.
How does this keep happening?
I don't
D&D
understand.
Beyond clearly likes what I've been saying about
No,
them.
no, you don't
Oh my
understand. No,
God.
you don't understand. It's because of Miale. She did a monkey's paw's wish earlier.
Ah, that we'd get good rolls. Yes.
Boy,
Shout
did
out to me, LA.
And
Oh my
boy,
God.
are we getting good rolls.
That is
We-
wow.
Because we deserve this, right, guys?
We definitely
Because
do.
epic adventures need epic rolls.
Oh my god.
Also,
Sorry, I had to do it.
it's totally because D&D Beyond is great.
It's only 20s.
It's only 20.
Yep.
That is greater than 50% 20s rolled.
That is a
She has-
100%.
Yeah, she has 100% 20s.
This is
Literally,
ridiculous.
all of my 3 rolls have been nat 20s.
I mean, this makes up for the nat 1 stealth check on the way in, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's silly.
Well, yeah, there we go.
And like I say, you know, she was determined to prove herself, you know, because after her wrangling to try and get inside this mansion, let's just set up a new. It's tricky to figure out the music for this because it's not quite combat, but I think it's closest to
No,
that.
Well, it's because it's kind of like it's time pressured. It's like tense.
See, well, the music you need right now is some like college graduate reading poetry.
There we go. Well,
Okay, he's got a nat 20. This is more than college graduate. This is like from the heart, man.
this is
Best I can do is I've listened to Dimension's honorary doctorate speech not too long ago. There was plenty of humor, plenty of life lessons, plenty of everything.
so.
It might even be copyright free.
Just stick that on as the background. Let's see if Syrinscape's got poetry. No. Yeah, I think.
Alright. So what is this?
So yeah, you open the book, and obviously you still don't have time to be taking a proper considered investigation of it, but you don't need to because you reading the first page, flick the page, read the second page, and your eyes just flick between the key details, and you're immediately able to work out the nature of this tome. This seems to be a ledger, a record of what seems to be people. And you can see there's notations of payments made, payments received, and the payments made seem to corroborate with the invoice documents that you've seen in the desk. The payments received seem to be considerably larger, usually about double.
Oh.
Interesting.
The records, as I say, they're various people. You don't recognize many of the names. You do recognize there is one name that stands out. Actually, no, 2 names that stand out. Well, actually, you wouldn't see those on the first page, but just flicking through until you get to the final page, the final page of records, you'll see those 2 names that are much more recent. You can see Thitherwick, and you can see there's Will. Now, no payment has been received for Will. No payment has been received for Thitherwick, but you can see payments have gone out. You also, as you're flicking through with a nat 20, which is ridiculous, because that was 2 nat 20s literally in a row for the same situation. Yeah, well,
Sam.
yeah, 3 in a
Three.
row, but 2 in this scenario of unlocking the book and then searching through it.
It's fine. My next one's gonna be a nat 1. So
Yeah, and then you set fire to the,
balance out
and then you
somewhere.
trip and the book falls into the fire. So,
And then I
and then you combust.
No, that's gonna be my part soon.
Yeah. The greater pink eye suddenly settles back in.
Not the greater pink eye.
Oh no, sorry, it's eye of greater pinkness.
That's the one, yeah.
So,
There we go.
you also see one other name you recognise
Oh.
as you were flicking through. In fact, more than one name, more than one other name. You see Dashing Fawn. You see. Oh, sorry.
Does she also see that Luxodon and the other person?
Yeah, you see Unyielding Krumar. You see. You don't see.
have to spell that one.
You don't see.
I'm gonna write cream.
Unyielding Krumar. You don't.
Unyielding.
Yeah.
The judge?
No. You don't see Harvest. He's not in the book. You do see. Actually, no, you don't see Cornelius in there either. Who is the ancient wizard. So these are the members of those Unyielding Krumar and Dashing Fawn. They're members of the Daggerford Dalliances, which is Lord Flashheart's adventuring party that he kits out with all the fancy gear. So you can see 2 members of that party are logged in this book. Payments went out. No payment was received for those. However,
Sorry, guys, but who's Cornelius?
oh,
I
Cornelius,
have that.
unless I've got the name wrong. Hang on, let me refer to my notes.
He falls into the stream of chocolate.
Chocolate. Hang on.
I'm thinking about what's it called, Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. I'm sure Cornelius Fudge is the name of the fat kid.
Cornelius is the wizard of the Daggerford Dalliances.
Got it. Burke wouldn't have met him. Yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah. I don't think Burke has met any of the Dalliances actually.
Most
Yeah.
likely, Frank.
So tell you what, because I'm conscious, I don't know which viewers we've got, but they probably haven't seen anything about the Dalliances because we haven't talked about them for a little while. So let me just pop in.
Good.
Those assholes.
Those assholes.
There you go. That's the Dalliances. So you got Harvest, Cornelius, Lord Flashheart, Dashing Fawn, and Unyielding Krumar. These are the adventurers that Lord Flashheart kits out of all the very best and ridiculous of gear. Like in the most recent arena bout, he gave them all wands of fireball so they could instantly just detonate a dragon between them. Which is what upset Will so much because she considered that not a fair battle and she quite likes slaying dragons, so she considered it a bit of a waste.
Who doesn't like slaying dragons?
Right,
It's the best.
It's in the name of the game. But Cornelius and Harvest are the on the left there. They don't have any payments for or against their names in this ledger. Dashing Fawn and Unyielding Krumar, you can see payments going out from Lord Flashheart's accounts. You don't see any payments coming in for those 2. The only other people in all of this logbook that you see where there's payments not coming in are Fiverwick and Will.
Well,
Everyone else has a payment come in against their name.
okay.
But every single and every single other person has a payment go out. You don't recognise any of the names because you're not a local. And Hala, you just sent off to run to another room, so you're not able to talk to her.
And I'm pocketing. I'm gonna pocket the ledger. Definitely.
Yeah, certainly seems suspect.
They knew.
Do you live next to an ambulance station? Like really?
No, he lives in London.
It's just London.
It's just London.
Yeah.
It's
So it's like the natural hum of London is a siren.
For how many jokes we make about the US, London has a lot of ambulances and police cars going by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got actually a fire station around the corner from us, so we're lucky we
That's
don't get it. But we're on an estate which is a dead end, so we don't get it too much. Right. So I think that wraps up your turn because that's quite a lot involved of unpicking it and then flicking through the tome.
I agree.
So we move on to Hala.
Do you mind if I or someone else want to?
I was gonna say I think that you've got the sheet, so you should be the one to
Yeah,
let her.
you pilot her because it makes my life easier, to be honest.
Wonderful. So there's a door to the south and the door to the west from Holland's current location.
Yeah, hang on. I'm just.
One immediately to her. If she's facing towards the dark room, it's on her right, and then one straight ahead of her.
Yeah, I've just got one too many windows open. There we go. Right, so
No, there could be 3.
there's 3 doors. There's one to her left, one to her south, one to her right.
Cool. I don't know left or right, so let's do west.
Cool. West it is. Oh no. There you go. There you go. So you open up the door to your left, and it looks like a cozy sitting room. There's a couple of squishy armchairs in front of a coffee table. Atop one of the chairs, there's a book that's just laying there. It looks. Well, it just looks like a tome from when you're looking coming in. There's a fireplace. It's quite currently unlit, despite what the map looks like. There's another what's more like a chest of drawers and a wardrobe, and then just a dresser over to the side with a pot of roses. But nothing obviously nefarious. What do you look for? What are you doing? Otherwise, you can sprint straight into another room if you don't like it.
Look at the tome.
Cool. So you run for the tome and open up. Give me an investigation check. Just because, Hala's not the smartest.
Almost a nat 20.
I love the amount of intensity in the music for this investigation check.
We're going to read the book. Oh my god! From even looking at the title of the book, it looks like it's a fictional story. Something that you would read to enjoy by the firelight, to round off an evening. Opening it up, you're just flicking through the pages, and it reads like a romance novel.
Of course, it's a romance novel.
Of course it is. I mean, he's Flashheart. He's Flash by name, Flash by nature. He's got to pick up tips else somewhere. Reading through. But as you're flicking through, a slip of paper falls out. Looks like it had been used as a bookmark, or maybe it had come with the book when it had been gifted, or when you bought it, or whatever. It's what would be the medieval equivalent of handing out your phone number, which is essentially a lady's name, an address. It's over in Waterdeep. And there's...
That's quite a journey, isn't it, from where we are?
A couple days.
Yeah, it's the closest city.
Okay.
And there's the classic, lipstick kiss outlined upon it. With 17 investigation, you even catch a whiff. It's scented with perfume.
Nice. Look at that.
But yeah, no.
The plot twist is, sorry.
No, go for it.
Is that Flashheart has written all of it himself?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's his lipstick and his scent.
It's his novel.
His lipstick. Flashheart's wonderful brand of lipstick. It's more than you can afford, of course.
That's the name of the brand.
If you have to ask the price, you cannot afford it.
No, the brand name is more than you can afford, of course.
Yeah, that's the name of the brand.
Okay.
If nothing else looks incredible, I want to head to the north with anything I have left, if possible.
Yeah, I think just opening one book and flicking through it is easy enough. So yeah, you open up the north room and you see what looks to be a pair of single beds. Each has a closed, functional-looking chest beside it. Well, that's probably about all you can do.
Yeah. I'll mess with that later next turn.
Yeah. Okay.
Just looking at general chat.
What's going on there? Yeah. Meanwhile, to the north, the poetry / last stand / poetry slam. That's probably the name of the episode, actually. Poetry slam. Continues to play out. All right. So there were a few more guards coming. So I think they would have been arriving by now. So,
That's not healthy.
Burke, Lyroon, Nanto, what do you do?
Well, I will continue slamming poetry.
Okay.
Well, get on it then. We're listening. You've got 6 seconds.
Yeah, give us 6 seconds of poetry.
Oh my gosh.
Just gonna
And
look up a
from the
poem.
trees the fruit may fall, and from the ground the mushroom may grow.
And time.
It's good.
I like mushrooms. Not a good poem.
Just referencing the conversation of your grandma. So,
Oh my god.
so
I have real world experience.
yeah, I think we'll take Nat 20 as your performance for the poetry. We'll just continue doing that. So yeah, these words continue. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I remembered something, but I continue.
Oh yeah, so you continue reeling off from the lack of mouth that the Warforged has, yeah, just trying to entrance the guards, and you can see Nanto has done this many times. He's performed before audiences and been able to entice them with the sheer mesmerizing power of his performance. And while the rest of you would have just put that down to Nanto being a bit Nanto, this is actually something he is capable of, and he full well knows it. I don't know. Anyway, you can see that they're starting to be entranced by it, but it will take a while yet. Meanwhile, Burke and Lyroon, what are you doing?
I want to say to the painting, well, if you did not see her here, where else did you see her? Sorry, where did you see her instead? That's a better way of phrasing it.
Mm-hmm. So the painting puts a hand on it and says, I don't know what you mean. Some brutish lass brought to Lord Flashheart's manor, I'm sure he would do no such thing. No, you are the interlopers here, my friend.
As soon as you tell us, we'll be right out of your hair. Never see us again. All we're here is for her.
And he's just whipping around his sword. I rather think my friends over there are going to be taking care of you plenty soon enough.
Brooke would just crawl back towards the room. We'll see about that.
Then I want to take up a position next to Baruch for when he gets damaged.
Okay.
If?
When?
If? No, okay.
The tidal wave. The tidal wave that's coming. Right. Baruch, what are you doing? So there is a guy right in front of you at this point.
Poof. I will ready an action to smack him twice the moment he tries to hit me.
Okay, so self-defense. Can you ready to attack? I think you can only ready one attack, I'm afraid.
Oh, that changes things. In that case, I'm afraid I'm still dodging.
Okay.
Just trying to take up as much space as possible.
just like a goalkeeper.
Shoulders to that side, sword diagonally, just to make sure that no one tries to squeeze past.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's more like bracing instead of dodging.
But but it is dodge
I'd
action.
say so, yeah, frankly.
Okay.
It's
so
sort of, I just don't expect to be pushed over here.
So the guardsman in front of you, he tries to grab you by the breastplate and drag you out. So give me a contested athletics or acrobatics check, your choice.
Well, that's going to be athletics.
And I need to look up.
That's going to be a nat 20.
Oh my god!
what the actual... you're just breaking my game.
Anything is possible.
We've got a plan and you're not going to stop us.
We're going to get into the worst possible situation. Dice be damned, and we're gonna win.
No, we're gonna make a lot of bad decisions. The DM is going to try and punish us. Let them try.
No punish.
Oh god. No,
Well,
no
Never ever punished.
So he lays his hands upon the breastplate of Burke and starts straining. And he doesn't even move a millimeter. It's just staring him in the face and just...
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching.
He just wedges himself into, like, puts his arms against the doorway. He's like, nope, nope. And he's like, the guardsman's like straining up. He's like, it sounds like he's trying to go to loo, frankly, by the end of it. And he's starting to get red in the face with a sheer strain of effort.
I mean, I'd say so is Burg, but well, that's a game.
He starts off red in the face, indeed. 6 seconds later, no
There's
progress
still
made.
No any movement from his side.
All he's managed to do is dig some deep rivets in his fingers where he's been trying to pull at your armor to no avail, and he just sort of hangs his head a bit dejectedly. He's going to move out of your range to make way for someone else. So you got an AO.
I don't think that's an attack of opportunity for me. I really want to,
unless of course you could do a grapple to keep him here.
you can certainly do that.
Do a grapple? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going for it.
He tries to grab you, and you're like, "No,
I grab you."
22.
Oh, what is this ridiculousness?
We're gonna wrestle.
That's wrestling. Okay, let me just see how he rolls, but I don't think he even has athletics proficiency. So
See, this is why it's good that we have these rolls in the chat, because if we were like rolling and just being like, I got a 20. Oh, I got a 20. No, I got a 20. I got a 19.
Yeah.
19, 20. I got a 20 again. 15. Oh my god, I would not believe you.
no, it's a live game I joined recently where I insisted that they didn't have Avery on the server, and I was like, well, you're going to have to add it because you won't believe the rolls I get. I'm just ludicrously lucky.
I had a DM in my other game. He actually posted, because we use Roll20, he actually posted the private rolls he had made, and it was 3 nat 1s in a row. And we were like, we were kind of like close to dying, and we were like, 3 nat 1, yeah, sure. You're just taking pity. He's like, no, look. I rolled 3 nat 1s and then a 2. I want this dragon to kill you, but the game won't let me.
Yeah, the dice gods have decided.
Not today.
I mean, today the dice gods decided that Burke is not only not going to be moved by this guardsman, but in fact is going to counter grab. How do you grab him?
So the moment I see that, he's kind of dejected and trying to fall back, I would, just swap my sword from both hands to just the left one, and with the right hand, I would just grab him by the shoulder, and then just sort of an iron grip on his metal shoulder. My turn, and just hold him right in the spot where he is.
Just hold him in place.
I was kind of really hoping you were gonna pick him up just by his head, like pew.
Beauty human.
Beauty human.
Yeah, the next time I'm going to slap the second guard with the first guard.
Please do not try to hurt them.
If he looked dejected before, now he just looks ashamed. Like, it's just burning red in his cheeks. Not only did he fail to move the hobgoblin out of the way, but now he's actually just clamped into place, and you can feel like this iron grip upon his shoulder. He's like wrenching desperately, but the arm's not even moving. And in fact, his whole body moves, but his shoulder stays locked still as he tries to escape your grasp. And he is firmly locked in place. He got a nat 3, by the way.
Oh god.
This is.
Yeah, it's hardly a struggle with that.
Yeah, I don't know which goats you sacrificed to Avery, but apparently all of them. So that's it. That's everything he can do. The other guardsmen behind him are just like, what the hell, man? Like crowding around.
Jeremy, come on.
I did warn you that I'm going to make them listen to the poem.
That is. Don't waste that poem.
But they do have spears.
This is so grand.
Which, while they don't have range in terms of 10-foot stabbing range, they do have the ability to be thrown. So they take their spears in hand. Yes, in D&D, spears can be thrown, Sammy.
No. I'm thinking, is this a good idea for them to throw with their friends directly in front of them.
Hey,
yeah, I was
that's
about
a
to ask about line of sight.
that's a +2 to AC for Baruch, according to Raw.
Yeah, exactly. So effectively, it counts like cover. Just means that effectively Burke has an AC of whatever he's got +2.
With the dodge, so good luck with any of those spears.
Yeah, exactly. With a dodge action as well. So this should be interesting. What's your AC effectively now, Burke?
1 moment. So mine is 19.
With the +2.
Yes, with +2.
Cool. So let me just find the stat block.
I should have kept the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Let's see how these go.
Shields are useful, man. Not as useful in. We were having that conversation in general.
Yep.
Shields are great.
Shields are good.
Okay. So for no, sorry. Be three of the guardsmen, those 3 red circles in a row behind them, take up their spears, holding them up to their shoulders, and like, Jerry, you need to get out of the way. And seeing that he's just locked in place, they're like, all right, and start hurling their spears. And yeah, it is pretty damn difficult, not only to throw a spear past your friend, but also to do any damage to Burke anyway, because he's in like heavy chainmetal armor, hulking hobgoblin, and they just ricochet harmlessly off the rings, off the walls, off Jerry, and yeah, not a single scratch upon the hobgoblin after these 3 spears are thrown.
Excellent.
All that remains is the. Sorry, again.
Do they have any additional spears on them? As we can see.
No.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how many spears do we reckon they have?
12 javelins each.
Those were the only spears.
But now you guys have 3 spears, potentially.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
Wow, we made money on this.
Oh, don't worry, Ravenous will take care of that. But anyway, so those were all the spears that you
noted down the full plate armor and where its location is, so we know for later for you.
Yeah, much appreciated.
A real fast sketch. I like it.
So, 3 spears held, no effect. The black plate armored guardsman, he doesn't have a spear. He has 2 weapons upon his person that you can see. He's got a massive, thick, long sword strung along his back, a great sword, and on his hip he has a fairly light looking crossbow.
That's unfortunate for one of us.
I was when you were really dreading the fact that you were gonna say on his hip he has a wand of fireball.
Oh my gosh!
Flashheart's been here.
Yeah, in that case, we would be trapped in here with him.
Wow.
I think.
Oh God.
All I'll say is you had a good plan, making sure Lord Flashheart was at the arena.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a very, very smart plan. So it's still a disadvantage because. Oh.
What?
No, I just heard noises. So he levels his crossbow, aiming carefully. He's waiting. There's various guardsmen in the way. They're all throwing their spears. Burke is ready. He's got actually a meat shield basically ready to put in the path of any crossbow coming his way. And he's just waiting. He's just sighting.
Okay.
And you hear this twang of the crossbow mechanism firing. This bolt comes flying forth straight towards Burke's face. At the last moment, he just ducks out of the way, and the crossbow bolt comes flying into the rim, scatters, careens across it, and then plinks across the floor. No damage done.
I was hoping it would hit the painting.
No damage done, but yeah, so just clatters across the ground. But it was a very close thing. It passed pretty much within a centimetre of your face, and if you hadn't pulled your head out of the way at the last moment, that would have done some serious damage. You can tell.
I can imagine.
Head out of your ass. Okay.
So, what I'm getting from here, y'all got any more of those stormtroopers?
Bad guys don't shoot well. That's just how it rolls.
That's how every single mook in every single TV show and movie.
Yeah.
If there's
They did
more,
a whole thing of it in Family Guy. I was like, good thing that bad guys are terrible shots.
if there are 5 or more guards, their accuracy greatly decreases.
Yeah, the
It's
fewer people you've got, the more
it's-
accurate they are.
yeah, the trope is called the inverse numbers law, in which the more numbers you have, the lower effectiveness they are.
Yep.
And when you get rid of 4 out of the 5 guards, that last guard is always the mini boss. That's how it is. That's the rule.
Just how it is. I mean, really, I shouldn't have coloured in one from the start. Should have waited till the end. Sammy, could you grab me a drink, please?
It's my turn.
No.
My turn.
And in fact, well, because she doesn't need to be aware what happens next because she's not in the room.
I should be aware of everything because I'm amazing. You're not so mean.
Yes. So that's not the entirety of your opponents against you, though. There's the guards in front of you. There's the charmed guard who's just watching this all appalled that they're trying to hurt his friends.
No.
But there's a painting who has been talking.
Oh, does he have a wand of fireballs?
Yeah, just-
Water fireballs run.
yeah, I mean,
Oh no.
actually, there is a wand on the painting Flashheart's hip, which he pulls and he starts waving towards you, and the tip starts to glow brightly. He's just performing this almost like infinity gesture over and over again, and it starts glowing brighter and brighter until the whole painting suddenly flashes with light, but no fireball emerges.
Oh, thank God, you son of
Instead, what happens is I just need to check
A
what's.
house-wide alarm, isn't it?
Thanks, darling.
You're welcome.
Could
I can almost smell a house-wide alarm here.
Burke give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
What?
Oh no! No, can I not?
Well, this is gonna be the one roll. we
Never
fail.
mind, it's 18.
What?
Oh, wow. Never mind. We just can't roll badly.
He-
You got a
I rolled a 4, okay?
Most of us can't roll badly.
you got
Thank
a
you.
+0 modifier, and you still get an 18. This is just utterly ludicrous. So for the briefest moment, something quite unusual happens here. So the whole painting flashes of light, and for the briefest moment, you can see what just the outline, almost like a halo, starts to appear. Just like a line of light, and it starts to wrap around in a loop over Burke's head. But then he blinks once, shakes his head, and then just redoubles his grip upon the fellow in front of him.
Turn him around.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna do next turn.
So I think Nanto, give me an Arcana check. So I think only you would be able to identify a spell.
I would love to do that.
You know what?
17.
Oh no, it's 17 because well, at least you rolled a 9. It's just a good mod.
It's just I have expertise in that.
Yeah.
So, could I roll an Arcana check for this, given I've been subjected to that spell?
I mean, at disadvantage because Burke,
Because
Yeah.
why would you know about magic?
and then you roll.
Hate magic.
And then you roll a nat 14, even at disadvantage. Burke, you would know, I mean, just from the prickling at your mind, you would know that there was some kind of attempt to ensnare you, to get you to do something against your will. Nanto, with a 17, and given your background generally in magic, you'd recognise the spell. That was a Crown of Madness.
Oh, that is
So-
nasty.
So I just really want to point this out here, right? This is a pleasure dungeon, that has an artifact in it that can change people's minds.
Oh, no.
That is super creepy. Like torture, one thing, sure. Mind control in a pleasure dungeon,
It's just getting a bit.
I was wondering if anyone would cotton on to that. And there's whips.
I mean,
But
I'm just saying, given what the spell does, this is a very bad. This is not a good sex dungeon. This is not a good
You're
place.
asking.
I mean, what is a good sex dungeon? Please tell me
Well,
more.
well, when you have a spell that compels you to attack people, I mean,
when
it's-
both
it's-
parties are
it's a
consenting,
dungeon.
that's a
But,
good
like,
sex dungeon.
but why do you need a spell to force them to do it if you're consenting? It doesn't make sense.
That's the point, though, isn't it? It's Flashheart. He's
Yeah.
not as squeaky clean as he would like people to think.
Every
Not
single
quite as squeaky clean, at least.
every single new thing I learn about Flashheart makes me despise him even more.
I think that's the point.
Oh, that's the point. Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're supposed to fucking hate this dude.
There you go. So there's the painting, just to give you an idea of where it's positioned. So
And then the entire room moves slightly.
it's the joys of PowerPoint, guys, because I refuse to learn Roll20. Even when I have a week off and someone offers to teach me. So,
For life.
I know one thing, and I know it very well. Nut gobbler.
you know me, or just that's
No,
a quote of me.
That's a quote from you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, all right. I was like, I mean, we all know him quite well now.
So me,
One thing of PowerPoint we know.
I know PowerPoint very, very well.
Yeah,
So
you guys do.
Ravenous. That brings us back to
Yeah.
you. So
Okay.
you can hear there's cries, there's shouts, there's crossbows firing, there's you probably hear the clatter of all the various spears being thrown around, but you haven't heard any cries of pain yet.
It's a really good distraction.
It is
I mean,
a
you
great
won't
distraction.
hear it even when I'm dying.
Yeah. Stoically silent in death. Yeah, no, I'm gonna continue because I mean I'm not wasting this invisibility while I have it. So
Oh.
I think my next point of call would probably be to then there aren't any locks on the wardrobes, right?
No, they're just closed. But there was a lock on the chest.
Yes, I understand that, but I'm going to first investigate the unlocked items because they're less likely to be trapped.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, are you searching for traps?
I mean, I did a Nat 20 investigation of the room, so I feel like I would know if there's any there, right?
Yeah, I know. Well, I think it's Nat 20 investigation of the book specifically.
I've had 3 rolls and they've all been Nat 20.
Yeah. So you. Let me think about it. You've had a Nat 20 on Thieves' Tools to open the book. You had a Nat 20 on Investigation to read through the book. You had a Nat 20 on Investigation of the previous room to identify the 3 books. Yeah, so you haven't investigated this room at large.
Okay. Would it be perception for... fuck it. Rav isn't thinking about that. She's going to open the wardrobes.
Okay, just go ahead and yank them open. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so first wardrobe, you yank it open, and what you see inside is row upon row of expensive-looking spirits. You can see there's...
So, we talking like specters or ghosts?
Very good. Alcoholic spirits. So not spirits that are addicted to alcohol. Before you even go there. Bottle upon bottle.
So please tell me about the.
Too well.
Please tell me more about the bourbon geists.
Oh my god.
You say it will happen at some point. But yeah, so you see row upon row of bottles. Ravenous, you've never lived in high society culture, so but you've stolen from a few homes along those lines, so you might recognise 1 or 2 of the bottle names. So you'd realise these are high-end alcohols. A couple of the bottle names that stick out to you, there's the Rolling Hills Spirit Range. These ones are various like brightly coloured labels that have fairly fanciful depictions upon them, almost like psychedelic style colouring into them. So there's Crimson Minotaur and Mango Madness and those kinds of things. Meanwhile, there's over in one corner is amber brown coloured liquid inside a thick glass bottle, and on the label you can see there's a roaring dragon actually with flames belching out of its mouth, and it just says dragon whiskey imprinted across the front.
Pretty far distance over from that place.
Yeah, so it's you can see it's printed along the bottom. It says made in Mombasa, which I think you would know is an eastern city far away from here, so an import. The other spirits, your standard rich fare.
Okay.
But basically, it's just it's a cabinet full of booze.
Nice cabinet of booze. Yeah. Okay. So close that cabinet up.
Mhm.
And then move on to the next.
Okay, so the other cabinet. In this room where you had found that logbook, and there's these two strange arcane sigils on the floor. The other cabinet you can see is loaded with what looks like suits of clothing. They're quite nice outfits. They don't look like Lord Flashheart's outfits, though, but they look like generally the type that both men and women, so it's ones for each, would wear. Just fancy noble clothing.
Okay.
I mean, some of it is the kind of stuff you would wear, because you wear quite nice clothes.
I do, but again, I'm not here to steal clothes and booze. I mean, I'm not here to steal.
At the bottom of the wardrobe as well. So you got these on. It's like a clothing rack along the top. At the bottom, the very bottom is a row of shoes, and again on the left side is a load of men's shoes, on the right side is a load of women's shoes. On the shelf over them are 3 small wooden boxes.
The boxes.
Which I assume you start flipping open. And inside those, you can see the left-hand one. It looks like
senses are tingling.
it's already licking her lips in anticipation. The left-hand one, it looks like what looks like men's jewelry. Essentially, it's mostly like metal chains, a few rings, but there's no like shinies. No shinies.
Okay, throw that one back in.
Next, middle one. What looks like almost like tawdry jewelry.
Sorry, I don't know what that is.
Crass, like cheap. They're shiny, but like cheap shinies. So
I know that it's not a real shiny. This is fake shiny.
Fake shinies, exactly.
Okay, so like just annoyed, like puts the box back on. Rubbish. Puts it back in. Okay, move on to the last one.
And the last one is indeed legit shinies. So you can see there are inside 2 necklaces.
Dribbled very slightly.
There's two necklaces. One fit with a massive emerald as the pendant that would hang heavy on any lady's neck, and the other one is studded with rubies all the way around its length. So sort of chain ruby set into some kind of steel or platinum chain ruby. So there's about probably half a dozen rubies set into that one.
Wait a second. A necklace with half a dozen rubies set into them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I know something that looks like that.
Oh
But
yeah,
I know.
definitely crush one of those rubies. Definitely.
Not right now, no.
Ignoring what they say because I don't know the law, puts both necklaces on at the same time because then hopefully it will become invisible too. No?
Yeah, anything you're wearing is rendered invisible.
Okay. Puts both necklaces on and then moves some of the crass fake shinies into the box and then puts them all back.
Okay. The
And
moment.
that's probably the end of my turn, right? Oh no, things are gonna scream at me again! Okay, carry on.
The moment you remove the first necklace from that box, it is a remarkably familiar experience to what you had just earlier, the very same day.
Please tell me it's Shoot's voice.
It's not Shoot's voice. It's not Lord Flash. It's not Lord Flashheart's voice either.
Help! I am being stolen.
It sounds like a rather official, self-important servant's voice. I am being stolen. This is not my property, and I should be returned immediately. I am being stolen. And it just repeats like that over and over again.
Does everyone in this city have alarms on their gear?
Can't people just be like normal and just trust that I'm not here?
Why can't they just trust that she's not here?
Okay, cool beans. So can I remove the second one and see if it does the same thing?
Yeah, so it looks like only one of the necklaces has this enchantment upon it.
Which one?
It's the rubies. The emeralds one doesn't. The massive fat emerald doesn't have that effect.
gonna put the one that's screaming at me back and just quickly throw the emerald one on and put it, throw it back in there.
Yeah, I mean, it continues shouting, but it's now locked away in its box.
To be
fine,
fair,
it's not-
two
it
necklaces
is
at once is
muffled.
a bit tacky.
All right. So yeah, just but it's more muffled, so it's fine. And then like I don't know, I just like I wrap it. I grab one of the pieces of clothing, like wrap it in, like try and silence it slightly, like oh god, and then put it back in.
Yeah.
Shut the box.
Good thinking. Okay, yeah, that dampens the sound quite nice. I mean, there's the sound of battle not too far away, so that's mostly distracting. But yeah, by the time you do that and then close the wardrobe doors, you'd have to be pretty much standing outside the wardrobe to be able to really hear it properly.
Okay, cool. And that's probably the end of my turn, right? I've searched 2 items of furniture.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you can move, but there's also the chest, so you can just be ready, getting out your lockpicks, ready to
Oh yeah.
investigate that chest.
I can just see you're an idiot coming from Lyra space. Like you're going to die or be teleported somewhere or become cursed or it's gonna explode or
All of the above? I choose all of the above.
yeah.
See, you're going to be cursed with exploding.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always had an explosive personality.
It's an awful curse to have, by the way.
It's
Curse of
look,
explosion.
bottom 10 of curses.
Okay, cool. Great.
So-
That's great.
Oh no, I think you're doing everything just fine.
I
So
think we're doing great.
there we go. So
Hala.
oh yeah,
yes,
shoots.
Hala.
Hala.
Want to investigate the 2 chests? Open them up, see what's inside.
Okay.
Starting with the left one.
Okay, so they're not locked. They're just simple wooden chests. They're just beside these beds. Opening up, you can see what looks like changes of outfit. Looks like
Do
uniforms.
any of them look like Will clothing?
No. But they're like uniforms. Not of any of the guardsmen you've seen so far. But they seem to be of similar colouring and patterning.
Do they look like the uniforms that Dorothy? Not Dorothy.
Dorith. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
It matches
Excellent.
Dorith's uniform. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. And the right chest?
Same again.
Excellent.
So it looks like from that you were able to conclude pretty safely this is some kind of servants'
Servant
quarters.
quarters.
Yeah.
Then leave the room with, since I imagine it didn't take up much movement.
Not at all.
Leave the room. And at the bottom, it looks like there's a door. Open that door, go through with whatever movement I have.
Okay. Yeah, so you open that door and you walk inside, and it's a weird room because there's just this one table to the corner, and then there's a what looks like almost a hat stand next to it. The table actually before it's got this mirror set against the wall, and it's basically a vanity table, somewhere you could sit and dress yourself and put on makeup and things. You can see scattered across the vanity table there's various makeups, fragrances, stuff to just basically make yourself smell and look nice. What's weird about it?
Sorry, you. Please repeat everything after the word weird.
What's weird about it is that it's connected to a sitting room. This is normally the kind of arrangement you would find in a bedroom. You wouldn't normally find a room dedicated to just a vanity table on its own, like this.
He's just so vain that he needs an entire room for a vanity table.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, make of
He's
that what you
just
will.
that vain.
And especially make of that what Hala would. But yeah,
Yeah.
Punch it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Punch the mirrors.
punch the mirrors. You've got enough. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is there anything to open?
I mean, there's drawers on the vanity table. It'll take you all of a second to open those, and you just see more of the same makeups, various fragrances, things like that.
Cool. I'm gonna assume that's the end of my turn.
I think you got enough time to open another room. You haven't investigated anything or anything like that. You've just walked into
Cool.
a room and seen stuff.
Yeah, gross stuff. And so go north, then east.
Okay, so you find a room which essentially just gives you a staircase leading upwards. That's about it. That would be the end of your turn.
Thank you.
There we go. Right. So switching over to
The Stungeon.
the what should have been an absolute cluster, but was actually absolutely fine. So you've got a painting to behind you that seems to be trying to level off spells after you. You've got several angry guards in front of you who aren't seeming to be able to do much in any kind of effectualness. What do you do?
I continue to enthrall. All right, now for everyone else.
Thank you. I hop over Nanto with monkness, and go over to the painting. And you said I was able to look behind it earlier. Lift it up and whatnot. So I lift it up entirely and set it on the ground,
Interesting.
facing down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Facing straight down.
Yeah. So his face right in the dirt.
Mofo.
I just need to work up how this works. I think that might just work, but let me just check.
I'm like, if he's a creature, does he need to make a grapple check? But if it can't move or,
I'd
Oh,
say
really?
everything
We're
treading.
inside the picture
Yep.
is restrained as is.
I mean, right. So yeah, you pull out the painting. You were able to lift it away from the wall, but the minute you try to actually pull it entirely free of the wall, you find it's locked. It's almost as if it's like hinged and it's like glued at the top. Condition immune to being grappled.
What? Oh my god.
This is actually on a stat block.
Do you think that's a stat block?
Yeah.
No. I know these animated picture stat blocks. They're great. Or
I've-
animated portrait. Or
Actually,
whatever.
Potts, you fought against one of these before, I think. Actually,
No, you did.
Oh
Okay,
my
we're
God.
dead. We've all died. We lost. Goodbye.
Oh god, what is happening? I'm so sad.
oh, that was a murder DM
I
who's
never want to remember that again. Oh my god.
yeah, that one was a bad DM.
Oh.
I hope he's not watching.
Actually, well,
Like, totally ripped him out.
in all fairness to him, actually, he was good at like, all the flavor and stuff. He was just very set on killing everyone.
I mean, there were like 5 different environmental hazards to consider at any given point, along with flying ranged attacks. There. Okay, we're not going to do this.
Yeah. Anyway, so the painting
Anyways.
doesn't seem as easy as just taking it off the wall and laying it flat on the ground. It needs to be attached somehow, but you still have your actions. So
Is there
what's
a
it?
large blanket we can throw?
Yeah, there's a
There is a
bed.
bed sheet.
There's a bed. Excellent.
Look, like, hold on. You don't have to take the whole bed. Bed sheet will do fine.
Take the entire bed.
Lift the entire bed. You know, we could have just used the sheet. Shut up.
Okay.
Just throws the bed at the wall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That actually works. Lyroon hops over Nanto. Tries to remove the painting. Goes, what magic? And just looks for something to cover it up, and just goes to the bed sheets and starts ripping off the biggest bed sheet.
Okay.
And tucks the top of it into the top of the painting, so it's hanging in front.
Okay, so you whip off the bed sheets from the bed, not trying to think too hard about what it's experienced, and then leap up and trying to drape the bed sheet across the painting. Now the bed sheet, the actual painting is slightly higher than your natural reach, so you'll have to like jump up to try and like tuck it in. Give me an acrobatics check.
Okay.
Yeah, this should
Can't be that hard.
be your specialty, but
Oh my God, no.
Oh my lord, what did you do?
at some point your luck had to run out.
Everything else was great.
Yeah, so it's, just dramatically like grab the 2 corners of the bed, leap up into the air to try and tuck the bed sheet in. But as you leap, it's kind of like when cats try to leap, but they don't quite judge it right, and they just sort of slip, and like your feet just slip out from under you, and you just wham, straight land onto your face, chin first into the ground. Thankfully it's wooden floorboards, so it's not too painful, but it's plenty embarrassing. Unfortunately, you have not.
Thankfully, those two over there are paying attention to other things.
Exactly. So, I mean, distantly out the corners of your ears, while Nanto's dramatically reading poetry and firing off as much confetti as possible, and Baruch's just like stoically withstanding the assault and dodging between the various crossbow bolts and spears, you just hear this sort of out the corner of your ear.
And that was my action, correct?
That was your action. You still got your bonus action. Whatever you can do with that.
Anything to do with
You
action?
can flurry of blows.
I actually can't because I needed to do an attack with
Oh, yeah. Patient defense, but I don't think that's quite relevant.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you can step of the wind and just start sprinting around a small area like Sonic.
Look, I gotta go fast.
He's got this.
Running around at the speed of sound.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They are monetized.
Demonetized.
That's it's video game soundtrack, so those are usually fine.
Anyways, though, yeah, that's it.
That's it, I'm afraid.
I can't believe I failed an acrobatics check. Also, my other thought was to bless everyone since I have that, but used up my action, failing.
That's you'll get there. So, Burke, you're at the front. You still got a firm grip on this fellow.
And I'm gonna continue at it by restraining him.
Oh wow. Okay. I've never actually reached this point. How does restraining work?
If I remember right, it's just basically exactly the same as grappled.
It's just double grapple, basically.
More or less.
They get dis on things.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. If it succeeds, they get a lot of benefits. But to restrain, it's basically one more grappling check on top of the current grappling, isn't it?
All right, go ahead, give it a whirl. Let's see what you roll.
And more importantly, they have double 0 movement.
It's double 0 movement.
0, 0.
It's not a net 20 if it helps. It's on net 24.
Oh my. All right. I thought I might have this in the bag because he rolled a nat 19.
Try again.
This poor guardsman. He's got this hobgoblin's hand upon his shoulder, and it's already like an iron grip, and it just seems to solidify, and like the fingers actually entrenching into his flesh. And he had actually been ready for it and trying to like rip himself away as much as possible. He like actually crouched down. He springs with his full force that he's able to summon, like trying to leap up out of the way of it, and just doesn't move. And even in a centimeter, because Burrick's iron clawed grip just turns even more firm.
So as that happens, I would be pulling him a tiny bit closer, and if possible, turning him around to face the remaining guards. It's not quite a hostage situation, but getting close to it.
It's definitely a hostage situation. And so yeah, he's turning around, using him as a meat shield, and just like facing his fellow friends who've all just thrown their spears. They've now drawn their short swords, and there's the black armored captain. He's got his crossbow, and he's just leveled, like one arm out, and the crossbow laid across it. And he's just leveled towards him, and he's like, doesn't seem to have much quarry about continuing firing towards you. Okay, I think that's your turn.
And by me. Yep.
Okay, so that brings us to the guardsman. I
Can't
think.
believe I rolled a 1. Seriously.
Well, I was taking, so I still have a bonus action. Should I second wind? Wait, there's nothing to second wind about.
Exactly.
It's literally you haven't even been scratched yet. But that means you're not dodge actioning this turn.
Correct.
Okay. So while they're not able to throw spears, they've got one last resort each. It's weapons that weren't obvious when you were looking them over. They got daggers. So they're going to try and throw the daggers at you. And of course, the captain still got his crossbow. Still, the fellow with who's been charmed, he's just continuing to look at them all aghast and say, "No, what are you doing? This is Nanto! Can you not hear his wondrous words of poetry?" And it is literally trying to fall on deaf ears.
There's for my 6 seconds, or soft is the moss that rises from the river, the rocks that... And that's about all I can get in 6 seconds.
Excellent. Okay, so let's see how they do. So these are flat rolls.
You realise, Ox, that you're going to be the still the for the episode. It's gonna be it's gonna be Nanto doing another rendition, like with confetti everywhere.
See, I feel like this one is like more serious. This one's like less confetti, more like ethereal
Mysterious
ivy,
confetti.
like
Okay.
ethereal ivy that's like swirling through the air around him.
So there's all this wondrous, like, fey ivory growth starting to emerge almost out of thin air. It's like almost like illusory patterns that are just coming out of thin air and winding their way around Nanto as he continues to talk and speak the words of poetry. The daggers that start flinging forth towards Nanto just glance harmlessly off his chain.
Nanto?
Sorry, towards Burke. Just glance harmlessly off of.
Excuse me, I am the powerful one.
Don't shoot the poet!
Glancing harmlessly off the hobgoblin's armor, not even really scratching it in any meaningful way, and one of them just sticking firm into the doorway overhead, just not even close. That meat shield has meant it's quite a difficult job for them to be able to do much. The light crossbow, however, he's loaded another bolt into it. He's sighting over his arm. He's just been waiting with his subordinate, and he just says, "Twitch." And the subordinate just tries to wrench himself out of the way, and at that moment, dunk, and you can just hear the clank of the mechanism firing. This crossbow bolt comes slamming forward and comes straight into Burke's now exposed right breast. It just pierces deep in, bites towards through muscle and bone. The bolt itself does, what is it? 16 damage. It's hefty. This captain clearly knows what he's doing, and is unimpressed at this situation. And he's already slapping another crossbow bolt into the crossbow ready.
He's not a fan of poetry.
He's not.
I mean,
Hold.
now they've gone and done it.
Now they've hurt me. How dare they? So yeah, it's a hefty hit to take, but that is the only hit you take. The charmed guardsman just looks aghast at the captain. Why would you do that? And seemingly is just bemused and confused and horrified at exactly what's transpiring in this situation.
That was beautiful. Bemused, confused, and horrified.
And just to check what the guy that is restrained doing.
Oh, good
'Cause
point.
He still has an action.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but at disadvantage. So he's going to take out his short sword and try and gut you.
After that, I suppose I don't have half cover from him.
No, yeah, he's slightly awkward, but I think it's easy enough to stab someone who's holding you. Let me just check his. Because it's been a while since I've rolled something they're meant to be able to do.
No, it's still a disadvantage for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trained.
Yeah, no, I just mean as in, not as in like them trying to awkwardly because these guys, they're all about melee. This is what they're meant to do. They're not meant to be throwing spears or throwing daggers.
Let's begin by the fact they're out of ranged
Yeah,
weapons.
yeah, exactly. Like these are strength-based characters. So he takes his short sword, he reverses his grip, and just tries to hack backwards behind him. Burke just wrenches himself out of the way, almost like that classic thing where you sort of suck in your gut and lean backwards, and then he just clamps him forward towards his chest again, and grabs his hand grabs his wrist with his hand. So no avail, no damage done whatsoever. That just leaves one opponent left. Sorry, go ahead, Burke.
So that's out of 9
Ooh.
attacks I've taken, 1.
One hit.
But this is the one that matters, man.
Oh god.
What spell is the animated portrait gonna do on us now?
No, wait. There is one more attack that matters at this point. I've just been attacked in melee range.
Ooh.
And now I've been injured and I am angry. That's a riposte.
What?
Keep in mind, I mean, why not?
It's Burke.
Yeah, so let me just check. Yeah, that's...
And of course the temporary health as well, so effectively you've only
so
taken like
half
8
of the
damage. Yeah, half that massive hit was actually just negated entirely. So yeah, the moment the short sword comes hacking in towards Burrick's chest, he just grabs the wrist, wrenches it out of the way, and takes his full retribution if he can. Let's just see how he rolls.
That's going to be one-handed because
That's 20. That's 20. That's
no,
20.
it's a 15. It's an advantage. Sorry,
Ooh.
because he's restrained.
Okay, important question: lethal or non-lethal?
Non-lethal.
No. Okay, good.
Okay.
Non-lethal.
Okay.
It's going to be 17 to hit for a 12 damage.
Yeah, so he tries to hack backwards towards you, and Burrick just is having none of it. He just got hit by a crossbow bolt. He is infuriated, even though Nanto's trying to this peaceful approach to the poetry. Burrick is no poet warrior. He's just a warrior.
Yeah.
Just a
I
warrior.
don't even like poetry.
It takes out his long sword.
I've had the longsword all along.
Oh yeah, longsword in hand, rises up into the air and just wham, just whacks it across the temple of this guard, and he just blacks out immediately, flopping into his arms. One hit KO. This was a very weak guardsman.
Very.
We are not here to fight, but we will if provoked.
Yeah, it's self-defense at this point.
He
Um,
did get hurt. He did get shot in the chest. I think that is reasonable riposte.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So he just flops lifelessly in your arms. He's not dead. He's just unconscious. If you wish, you can still use him as a meat shield.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
no! Now it's
Look-
hostage situation.
I didn't have a shield with me.
No!
It's a literal meat shield.
Oh god!
So you just kind of go wham, and it just flops almost instantaneously. The fear going out of him, the energy going out of him, his shoulders drooping, and he's just only held up because of your strength, because of your arms.
Oh god!
And that leaves just the portrait. Here's where it gets scary.
A million guards on the thing that aren't blacked out or anything. As in that's who's left to attack, right?
Yeah, it's just the portrait left to act.
Very sorry, my confusion.
That and the 4 guards that are entering the room.
Yeah.
They're on the moving.
But then they'll probably need to make their move rather than being able to attack.
Mhm.
Yep.
So,
And then one of them can start carrying the crates of javelins towards the rest, because they will need them.
if everyone in the room
No.
No.
could give me a DC 12 Wisdom save.
Oh no.
I know what this is, and I'm so glad I made it.
It's a failed roll.
I know what it is.
Oh, we're...
Sorry. Let me ask: is this a charm effect?
It is indeed. So yes,
I
you
have
do have advantage. Yes. But you've got your saving face, but I think you might have already used it earlier.
I
Yeah.
don't have saving face on me at the moment.
Yeah.
And quick question. Never mind. I'll just figure it out because I have a feeling that I'm immune to this anyways.
I was going to ask if it affects the guards as well.
No, it's been localized over the room. The spell is
There
hit.
is the save button.
Would
Jesus.
Nanto be
Top left.
immune because of his thing that stops people being able to enter his mind? Would charm not be a mind thing?
Ooh. Oh well. Lyrune definitely passes twice.
Nanto is safe as well.
I've saved.
Nanto saved it anyway. Yeah, so it's just
Okay.
Burrick that fails to save.
So mind shielding is against reading my thoughts, determining if I'm lying, knowing my alignment, or knowing my creature type.
Yeah, so this is not relevant.
Against detection does not do anything for charm, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But thank you for trying.
Yeah, we'll just wait for Sammy to come back. No, I think we'll have to pause on that cliffhanger because we're over time.
Oh crap! Already.
I know.
We're only 18 seconds in.
We're only 18 seconds.
Yeah, it's,
So it'll be another 3 sessions before Nanto's spell gets off.
I mean, if the sewers taught you nothing, it's that I can make one simple encounter last for 4 sessions easily.
I think that's perfectly fine.
Right. Just wait for Sammy.
So, would it be fair for me to rapidly Google and figure out what's coming?
Oh,
I mean, I know.
yeah.
What's, oh, go on.
It's hypnotic pattern.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But I mean, the good news of hypnotic pattern is the minute someone hurts you, is that it's cancelled out. So, Sammy, just so you're aware, we're going to leave it on that cliffhanger. But what happens is, so the painting.
Can we play for an extra hour since we started an hour late?
Yeah, but everyone's lives still need to move on. So, the painting of Flashheart, a sword held in hand, starts weaving it around himself once more, and it seems to be that's how he's preparing to cast. And it starts alighting with a almost kaleidoscopic pattern, starting washing out from the hilt until the entire blade is awash with various riots of colour. And then suddenly those colours emerge out of the painting, pouring outward into the room, and these fractal geometric patterns start appearing out of thin air, entrancing any who stare a little too long to them. Lyroon and Nanto, a little bit wise either to the world or to magic, so wise enough to just close their eyes while it occurs. But Burek, with his fear of magic and his lack of knowledge how such things works, sees the patterns emerging and stares at them suspiciously. And that's all it takes. In that moment, he is entranced. He finds himself just staring into the patterns, and they just seem to form and form, and he's just falling into them. And he is incapacitated. He's unable to take his turns. He's unable to react to anything that happens around him. If he gets struck, or if someone takes an action to shake him awake, then he comes out of it. But for now, he is out of action.
And can I just quickly check one thing?
Mhm.
I don't see anything that would cause in that for me to drop the guard.
If you're incapacitated, you drop what you're holding.
Yeah.
Do I?
Yep, that's part of the rules.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, yeah, there is a flop towards the ground.
Oh
And
no!
the
So
And the
as well
slide-
as being unconscious, he now has a concussion because he gets hit on the head on the way down.
So you just whack. Well, you already had a concussion from being whacked on the temple by the flat of a longsword. But yeah, he just flops to the ground, and this hobgoblin fighter who had been determined to hold the way suddenly finds himself out of action,
Oh,
and
no,
that's
I've dropped one of my 12 weapons. What do I do?
and that is where we will hold this session for next week. So, an interesting situation. It may be the guards are about to pour in, unless you're able to turn it around. I'm sure you'll be able to wake him up before they get their turn, to be fair. But we'll see. Maybe the painting will keep trying such antics. Meanwhile, Ravenous and Haller are off exploring the manor. They found some pretty useful bits of information already. Not that you three know. You three, as far as you're aware, you're just holding the door. It's a scary situation to be in. It's still too soon, even a year later.
It's been several years later, but I'm still
about 4 years, if not more.
Is it really? Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been a long ass time.
It's been that long. All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed it who were watching the stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it who were playing. This has been Nightcast Summon Friends. We have YouTube as well if you want to check that out under the same name. I'm remembering to do the plugs correctly these days. And yeah, hope you liked it. And we'll see you next week.